What's up, fam? It's LW. Just got done with a Toyota brake job, so I'm not so fresh today, but doing some spark plugs on the 4.0. Just a little quick video. I figured something out. So I'm marketing this AC Delco ratchet, the G12, G11, whatever it is. I figured out how to fix the loud sound on it. If you take the head of it and you dip it in a little tub of ball bearing grease, as you can see it's in there, and run it, it'll lube the chain and quiet it down. That's one of the issues I didn't like about this ratchet that I actually figured out. So it's a lot quieter now. Comes to the battery, I'm still having issues with the squeeze and pull, but it gets better the more you use it. So I really have no complaints over this ratchet anymore. So I'll leave a link in the description or the comments for a link to it. It's a 12 volt, 45 pounds of torque. For any automotive situation, I'd recommend this. It's a lot cheaper than running with Milwaukee, that type of thing. So today we're just gonna do some plugs, and I'm sure a lot of you probably already know how to do spark plugs on this. It's really easy, but I'll go over it. I'm just in my mood. I should have done a video earlier on the Toyota. Did rear drums, and I probably should have done a video on that, but I just kind of rushed through it. Well, I didn't rush through it, I took my time, but did my thing. So today we're just kind of running through it and teach you guys how to do plugs. It's an easy day today, man. Hasn't been too bad, so I hope y'all are doing well. Hope things are going good for you. Today, just kind of working, see what I can get myself into to teach you guys something. But one thing I can give you some advice on with drum brakes. I know I'm not doing them right now. When you replace everything in there, which I'll end up doing a video on drum brakes on the Toyota soon. You set the drag on them a little bit so it catches and it's not free spinning. You've got to adjust those brakes. A lot of people forget to do that. So here we are. Just take some bolts out here, okay? One of them in the back there, so hold on. As you can see, I'm not really unbolting my I'm not really unbolting, or I'm not really unclipping my harness on this. These are hot, so should have let the Jeep cool down a little bit, but it's way quieter, dude. That's the thing I fixed with the AC Delco. So when it comes in the mail, it's still loud. They don't grease them like that, so I'd recommend just doing it. The volume on it is just way lower. It's way smoother. So I think if I could recommend anything to Amazon, it'd be to pre-grease those before you sell them. That's just my tip to Amazon. But so for those, you're going to use a 13 millimeter. You can use a deep or a short. So 13 millimeter bolts. Oh, what just happened to my extension? There it is, right there. So you're going to run a 5/8 spark plug. As I've gotten used to this ratchet, I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. So I've been a little rougher on it, been breaking bolts loose on it. I haven't had any problems, so I just decided that if I break a where's my magnet tool? Shit! Lost my magnet tool. That pisses me off because I just had that thing not too long ago. So Checking on me bags for it. I freaking misplaced this magnet tool a lot. That's one thing that kind of pisses me off about it, but they're cheap. If you misplace your magnet tool like me, one thing you can do to get these out is use a vacuum hose like this. You can use the coil to get them out. You can also use a piece of vacuum hose to pull them. These are seen better days. Oh shit, these are hot. Okay, so let's go in for the next one here. So we're gonna spin it. I've been using this ratchet as an actual ratchet lately, and generally I don't do that. I'm doing it to test its durability. If it goes bad, I'll buy another one, but little vacuum hose right there, pull it. Let's just leave them here. We're gonna pull them all out. And I know I told you guys I don't use Champion plugs, but I decided to go with them today, just to test them out. I don't really like Champion, that's one thing, but they use them stock in these vehicles, so we're gonna go with the OEM and take out the NGKs. See how it goes. So I did forget dielectric grease too, so when you guys do this job, make sure you have dielectric grease on the end of your plugs. I forgot it, so these aren't that bad. I'll probably keep them as spares. Let's slide this in there. A lot of people will tell you use a ratchet and don't use automatic tools or battery powered tools on these. I don't blame you for that. To theirs their own. I'm just getting this done really quick. I'm not being a goof. So a lot of sediment up on these. The one thing I have noticed about Champion plugs is they have more carbon buildup. So they build up carbon a lot faster than the NGKs. I don't really know why that is. Could be because of the iridium and not the copper. So copper on these, they seem to accumulate more carbon buildup than other ones. So you have to change them a bit more often. So the back one in here, pretty much reach it. Grab your vacuum hose. Alright, grab your vacuum hose like this, pop it in there and pull it out. And usually I use the ignition coil to pull on my magnet tool. My magnet tool is probably floating around somewhere in the shop, so I'm probably going to end up going in there and buying another one. So the first, I think I actually ended up buying mine from there. So the last plug back there, you're going to want to move your heater core hoses out of the way. So back up over the dipsticks. I'm going to end up replacing ignition coils. Not today, but you can unplug them from the back if you need more room. Generally, you don't really need more room. You can just shift them down like this. Okay, so for the back one, I do them with a 3/8 extension with a 3/8 ratchet. Shit all over the place. So got my flex head in there, you can see. So latch it onto the plug, come around the front so you have more room to wrench them out. But so pull your heater core hoses over the engine oil dipstick. Okay. Kind of a pain to get out of here. It's better if you use a flex head and you can reach them a bit better, but the back one, I don't really recommend using an AC Delco on them. They're just hard to get to. You have to have a certain angle on it, especially if your motor's hot like mine is. trying to find a place to set this. Maybe I could see a bit better. Maybe like that. Okay. Let that drop for a second. Okay. I just threw the other spark plug down there for now. So with these, it's important to check your gap. Okay. So with your old plug, you can look up the gap online, but it's just shy of 0.04. This one's about right there, so it's gapped a little bit too tall. So while we install these, you want to make sure they gap right. So push them to about right there, right before 0.040. I think it's 0.038 that is your standard gap for this. So before we do an install, one thing I will tell you guys to use copper anti-seize on your plugs. Whenever you do spark plugs, use copper anti-seize on your plugs, okay? It's important. If you do not, you can run into issues later with a seized spark plug. So this is anti-seize by Onier on Amazon. I've used it for brakes, I've used it for spark plugs. I've used it for rotors. I have not had one issue, one complaint, no problems. So I would recommend them. Their anti-seize is a little bit brighter than a lot of the stuff I've used before, but it works pretty well. I've had no complaints, no customer complaints. I've had to remove some things. I have had heat on them, and I have not had an issue. So make sure you paint them up pretty good. Just don't get the filament or the tip. Okay. Now for this, you can do this a number of ways. Okay. You can use your vacuum line and hold it up over like this. Okay. This is dropping them in if you got a hot motor. Okay. So let me grab something. I have all my tools. I'll do a tool list at the end of the video here. Grab a flathead, okay? This is if your engine's hot, not want to let it cool down. You can press on the plug on the back plate, okay? And remove your vacuum line so it sits in there. You can use the spark plug sockets that generally have the rubber seals on them. My rubber seal came off, so we're not playing. You sit them in there, don't cross thread them, okay? Make sure you're threading them right. Just thread it a little bit. Don't run these in with impact. You want a torque wrench on them. Want to make sure you're not impacting shit together. Don't do that. Don't be a dumbass. You can run them out with an electric ratchet, just don't run them in. Some people run them in. I've seen that before. Some people just run them in and call it a day. I'm not a fan, dude. I'm not a fan. So gap our spark plug here, okay? Sitting right where we need to be. Number two, well, you can see these heater core hoses are hot. You can slide the front ones in pretty easily. So it sits in there. Use your extension in your socket, 5/8. Thread them, don't cross thread them. So if they start threading funky and they start stopping on you like they're gouging up, back them out. So you can see there, we're straight in there. Just a few threads. Let's go with another one, okay? You know what? I'll probably stick you guys like right here. These really aren't that hard. I'm going to do a review on the Champion plugs. I've had them in Jeeps before and they didn't last very long. There's a lot of carbon buildup. They're copper tips. So I kind of, I'm not a fan of them, but I'm going to use them. Thought about going with NGK again. I decided to keep my NGKs as spares. It's kind of however you guys want to do it. I've heard mixed reviews on them. To be honest, the Jeep community's got some mixed reviews on NGK. This one's gapped way too high, so we're gonna tap it low a bit. We're gonna re-gap it right where it needs to be, okay? 0.038. A lot of people say just gap them at 0.040. I've heard with Champion plugs you have to gap them a little tighter. That was something that I heard. It was just from the Jeep guys that I was talking to. They said if you use Champion, gap them a little bit more, a shy bit closer than you will NGKs. NGKs, you can gap them at 0.040 and they'll do just fine. The copper tips, any Champions, people are saying gap them a little more shy. That's what we're going to do here. So look in there, we can see number 3 there, okay? So we're going to lift, actually down, okay? You can see in there. We're just going to drop this in the head like that. So don't go twisting them until you got them in there. Make sure you're getting your threads correct. Okay, once again, do not cross-thread a spark plug in these. You're going to have hell to pay. I'm just telling you that from experience, what I've seen with people. So I've been called out for cross-threaded plugs before, and what did I have to do? I had to re-thread the spark plug hole, or I just put a new head on it. So it depends on how bad it is. You can just heli-coil a new one in there, but who the hell wants to really just spend the time doing that? So make sure they're straight in there. Straight, 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 straight. Okay. Got this one here. Painted up. I can't express how important it is to do this. To use anti-seize on them. It's really important. These Jeeps run pretty hot too. The last thing you need is a stuck spark plug. It's gouged itself in there. So you're going to reach in. So even with a hot engine you can do these. It's not recommended, I'm sure. I'm on a limited amount of time before another job, so but you don't really need many tools for this. A lot of people that are kind of afraid to work on their Jeeps, this is not a hard task doing these, but I would recommend picking up the Oni Air anti-seize and use it. Keep it. A jar of it will get you a long way, especially when you're doing rotors and you put them on the outside of the rotors, the face of the rotors, or the wheel hubs, so stuff isn't seizing up and sticking when you're back in there. If you take your thing to a shop, who cares? Take your Jeep to a shop, oh well. That is hot as... Whew. Okay. Back in there. Gonna run them. A lot of people, so I've been working on some Corollas lately, some Toyotas, and I think I'm gonna do some videos on that, but what I'm gonna start with is a junkyard video and tear them all the way down to kind of show you guys what they're made of and how they're put together. But I did spark plugs and front rear brakes and a belt, and on a Corolla, I think it was a 2013 or a 2012 today. I had my camera on me, but I was already through it, and I decided, screw it, I'll just keep going. So I'll be doing some Corolla stuff here. So we got our back one here, okay? The back one, reach all the way behind your ground strap and set it with 1 or 2 threads. So you're gonna run this in with it, okay? Back it out, flush it in. Okay, so we got it in enough that it'll sit in the head. Now, for that back one, you use a 3 inch. This one, you're going to use a 6 to 10 inch. I recommend a 6 inch. It doesn't really matter. So, as long as it's a 6 inch or higher. So, you're going to spin them in, okay? Not too tight on them. You don't want to strip the thread on them. So, you're going to run it so it's tight. But not too much, okay? So don't overdo it. Don't snap no threads. Don't be a dumbass. There's torque settings for them too. Right now, I'm not really using a torque wrench. You probably should be, but well, screw it. So from the bottom, you got to just manipulate your coils out of the way to get these. Let's put them in there tight. All right, we're good. You get the feel for how tight they should be, but use a torque wrench. Just either torque wrench or a hand ratchet. Do not use something like this. You don't want to run them all the way in and snap one in the threads, then you're fucking screwed. Buy a new plug or you're dealing with it. So a lot of times people snap them where the threads are still in there. Then you're using an easy out and you're having to drill into it. And imagine if you snap that back one, you have to run a drill, dude. It's going to take you for freaking ever, and you might as well pull the head. So be especially careful on the back plugs. You don't want to be running something and screwing yourself. So comes to the anti-seize. We're finished up here. Let's button up so we're not tipping stuff over in the engine bay. Okay. We got this one in here. Go under the throttle cable. Seat this thing in there good, okay? Alright, we're good. So when you tighten these up, you tighten this one up, you want to go on the other side of your throttle, okay? Use a 6 to 10 inch, spin them in. Okay, we're good. Getting freaking anti-seize all over me, so let's pop this back in here. Brush back in a glove. Okay, so for the back one, we're going to pull it back up over the engine dipstick, okay? Because you're going to want to go through there and on the other side of the ground strap. So we're going to go around the back, make sure it's locked in. This throttle cable can get in your way too, so you can either pull it up or down. That's why I recommend a flex head, because you're touching here. You can go up and this way. I recommend getting both hands in here too, so I'm going to set you down right here. Hopefully you can see. Okay. Okay, move our throttle cable, go up underneath it. So we're going to tighten this up. Just use that 3-inch extension back here. It's really easy. Really easy. So okay, we're done. socket off. We're good to go. Okay. So from here, okay, you're gonna want to get these back in. Oh, there goes my freaking gap tool. Okay. I don't know what happened at, okay, we got 13. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. When you're putting these back in, up and back over, okay, you can kind of get those out of the way, manipulate them if you need to. Don't mount them yet, just let them sit in there so you can pull it around. You're gonna get this back over the alternator. Make sure the boots go, see the back one? Make sure that boot slides over there and it's not bent up. Okay, we got all of them on. We're gonna push them in, seat them. You got your bolts, okay? Slide them in, hand tighten the threads on each one, just a wee bit, all right? Once again, this is an easy job. Someone that is a beginner can do this. The only thing that I recommend is don't over tighten those spark plugs. Number one thing I get called for when somebody's messing with their own car is they put their own spark plugs in and they screwed it up. So one over the back there, and for these you can just run these in. Okay, just run them in so they're tight. 45 foot-pounds of torque is pretty good for one of these bolts. It's kind of overkill, but okay, next one. Okay, so we're mounted back up. Got our old plugs down here. One thing I am going to teach you guys really quick that I figured out with the WJ Jeep, and I know a lot of different models use this, okay? So if your ignition switch goes out, okay, and I learned this, how you can test this. If you have already swapped, say you can't turn your car on, there's no clicks or anything, okay, and you've already swapped your horn relay for your starter, which I already have a crack in the back of that one, as you can see, which has a tab that you can push it, okay? So you cut this back out of this one, okay? This is your starter relay. You cut the back out of it. My ignition switch is going out, so I learned this. If you switched it and it doesn't work, put your key in the very onmost position, okay? So let me show you guys really quick. This is to bypass a switch. So if your switch goes out through, say you're out in a parking lot, you just got done with somebody's wedding or something like that. I'm using an example. Wedding or a birthday party, you're out doing something, the car won't start, okay? I have a YouTube shorts on this as well. Check this out. You can stick this in here all the way to the very onmost position, okay? It doesn't start for you, but you got lights, you got everything, it just won't go. In the onmost position. My fan's running because the last person wired the fan to the cigarette lighter switch, so I got or cigarette lighter fuse. So all the way in the on position, you're going to push on this tab in the back, okay? When you push on it, start your car, and that runs way smoother with these champions. Smoother, dude. Kind of see how the champions go. These were probably due for a change anyway, but I'm going to see what the difference is between them. I've used champion, but I used them on a friend's car, and I also used them on some customer cars because that's what they purchased. So that's where I'm at with champion versus NGK. I'll let you know. Probably the next video I do, I'll talk about them and see how they've been going. But so far, Sarge has been tuned up. The next thing I'm going to be doing, probably camshaft sensor. The crankshaft sensor is really hard in this vehicle, but I'm going to be doing it anyway. So I'll probably run through it and teach you guys some things about it. I'm going to be doing a water pump on it, so I'll be doing a whole bunch of crap in this and just kind of teaching people about how to work on the WJ. I know there's videos already. I'm just doing my own show, so a lot of it is I just videotape when I'm out doing jobs. Where's my other plug? Yeah, so I'll just be teaching people about them. So far, so good. I haven't really had any troubles with this. Well, I have. When I first bought this Jeep, it was just destroyed, dude. It needed so much maintenance and so much done. It was ridiculous. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos on Jeep and Corolla is my next one. I just got done doing Corolla today, so I felt kind of stupid not running a video about it, but I got plenty of time. I'm young, so might as well teach y'all what's going on, how to do it. Something else that I wanted to recommend that I did is if you go into that store right there, you can buy these, okay? I mounted 2, you can mount 3 of them. I've got one for my oxygen sensors, and I've got one for my spark plug stuff, which is kind of cool. It's a go-to for me, so I'm not diving through boxes trying to find shit when it's easy. So I'd recommend those. They're about, I think they're like $3 a piece, and they're not bad. The lids themselves have not flipped open on me at all, but you can tape them if you need to. So I run that, and I run an extension step up, whole bunch of stuff in here, so you can see I've been kind of outfitting it. I have another toolbox that I was using for Sarge, and I didn't can it. I kept it in my shop, basically just for kits that I have, like wheel bearing separators, tie rod, ball joint separators. I just threw all my kits in there, so when I know what I'm doing, I'll just swing by and grab them, and it's really not a bad deal. So I will tell you, doing automotive, doing mobile work out of the Jeep has been a lot easier than a van. So there's spots for your gloves, there's spots for this, you know, I got ropes, I got caliper tools. I mean, you can just set it up the way you want. I might even go for a higher end jack, but I'll be doing some tool reviews. One thing I will recommend, buy this freaking ratchet, dude. If you're working on your own car, buy this ratchet. It will save you a ton of time. So we're running solid. It runs good. So yeah, I'll be doing more on it. My next video is probably going to be the oil pan and the rear main seals. So the rear main seals in these, they are not circular, they are half moon seals, so you don't have to remove the transmission to replace them. The guy that I got this from, I think he cross-threaded the oil bolt, so somebody put some RVT on it, this and that, so I'll probably replace the pan with it. So I put loads of money into this one. I'm going to be doing the rear wheel bearings on it, which is so there's a trick to those where people, what they usually do is cut them off. So I'm going to be showing you guys something. They use a grinder and just grind them off. I'm going to show you guys a trick around it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm a mess back here, but whatever. What else can I tell you? Yeah, idle's good. It's been running fine for me, so we'll see how she runs. It's been having some trouble up hills where it's just losing power, this and that, and I had a feeling these plugs need to be swapped. Something tells me maybe the Jeep that I put the Champions in before were it was a 98 ZJ, and I've put them in other ones before, Liberties and Compasses. I've never put them in a 99 to 2000, the crossover year Jeep. So it's the same engine, it's a 4.0. The Champion plugs are stock from the factory. So I decided to go back to stock, see if I can get better gas mileage, see what's going on. A lot of people, what they do with these is they try and get the best gas mileage they can. What I say initially, shoot for 19 per gallon and highway even more. I'm going to be doing a whole lot to this. So I'm going to be adding an oil cooler, I'm going to be adding various things, a catch can. There's people online that have done some weird stuff where they've taken a small vegetable can, like green bean can, and stuffed it full of Scotch pads, like steel wool pads, and used that as a filter, and they've made their own catch can. I'm going to do something that's a little more flush and professional. I'm still looking for a place to mount it. So I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Jeep videos. Other thing I'm getting is a double DIN screen head unit, so it's got GPS. I can type out receipts in here, do all my thing. When it comes down to it, I've been looking for interior swaps too, so I'm going to be in the junkyard doing a couple videos on dash swaps and steering wheel swaps. I know that the compass wheel will fit this, so I've been looking at different wheels, what will work, what won't. So I'll be doing videos on that, on what parts you can swap into a WJ. That's going to be something I'm going to be doing, so just tune in, man. I'm going to be going through a lot. The junkyards, I'm going to be going through, I don't even know if I have time for a junkyard video right now, and it's mainly just because of work, man. I've been all over the place. I haven't been filming. I should be, but I've just been getting my money up, getting my stuff going. So there's another there's a security system for this that I'm going to be installing that I'm going to teach you guys about. That's pretty cool too. So there's a load of shit that I'm going to be going over with the WJ. Stay tuned for my junkyard videos for WJ. I'm pretty much going to go and pull a dash out of the Compass and a couple other models to see if they fit a WJ. So I'll pull the skeletal out of it. I'm going to be cutting plugs off of some of the AC, and I'll be cutting harnesses to see if the plugs are the same. I'll be kind of confirming information for the Jeep guys out there that are curious about this type of crap. So, and it could be that I come across it and nothing's swappable. That could be. One thing I will actually look at is, does the I know this might be a no, but the Dodge Durango, any of the Dodge vehicles might have swappable dashes in them. I'm gonna be looking at that and seeing what I find. So a lot of it is, if I do find if I find that it's a bolt up, that I have the same space, I'm gonna be doing a long swap video for wiring, and it's gonna be soldering, not all these, you know, butt connectors and this. I'm gonna be doing a soldering harness on how to swap everything over and make it so it works and it's just not sitting there bolted in. So there's gonna be a whole lot going on here with WJ. So until then, I mean, stay tuned. Peace out. Lone Wolf.